Now, I did say earlier that I was playing a Pokemon hack called Pokemon the Emerald. And I was going to do another log about it because, well, the entire point of that Let's Play idea I had was to basically make a joke Let's Play about me raging at Pokemon. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't know how to work Skype, so I couldn't do it in real time, watching you letting you see me play it. But I was going to give you some rundowns until I figured it out, and I figured by then the worst of it would be over. But upon playing it some more, the entire thing is just too unbearable. In fact, I don't even know if it was such a good idea to even consider doing this because honestly, this is me raging right now. I don't yell or any of that bullshit. Sometimes I raise my voice. I'm sure you know that. But typically, when I rage, I just have to go into further detail than usual. Because, the first thing I did, well, let's put it this way. First thing I did when I got butthurt, and, let me go into detail about what got me butthurt. 5 hours of gameplay just to defeat one goddamn gym leader. That got me butthurt. What got me butthurt was the fact that it took me to be like level 17 or 18 of 3 Pokemon to defeat somebody that has a level 13 for average and a level 15 maximum. Having attacks they should not possibly have at that level, stats that are obviously too high. But actually, that's normal. Can't blame that on the hacker. That's actually typical Game Freak logic upon Pokemon. So I tolerated that. I was disgruntled, but I was already building up in butthurt. So then, I defeat the gym leader, and I was like, oh, well, this is going to be peachy keen from here, because really, I'm already at level 20. How much more can you up the curve of level? I don't know, because I'm not going to go any further with it, because, I'm getting sick of the same damn 3 Pokemon, so I'm going to go catch another one. No, you don't get that choice. And then for the official Pokemon Facebook wall to say, which Pokemon would you choose out of these 3 Pokemon? Well, see, that would be nice if I had a choice. First off, let's talk about how Game Freak only incorporates 100 Pokemon in their newer games, even though they have 1,000 now at this point. There's 1,000 goddamn Pokemon in total. But they're only putting a handful of them in the new games to push that new generation of Pokemon. Oh, but they got room for the fucking Zubat in the cave. There's always going to be Zubat, but to actually incorporate all of them and make them all catchable, oh, now you're talking crazy talk there. But that's not even what I'm talking about, because hackers go behind them and make Pokemon catchable. What I'm talking about is the mechanics Pokemon itself, catching the damn thing. Who would have thought a game about catching and taming monsters where you can't catch and tame them? Because the Pokeball formula. Bulbapedia shows you the formula of a Pokeball, and it's completely insane. This is a children's game. I have to do fucking, complicated math equations just to understand how to catch a goddamn Pokemon. I'm doing algebra here? Really? Algebra is part of a child's game. But it gets worse than that. Because, let's see, I had 6 Pokeballs, 2 Great Balls. That's not enough. Now, before you argue, oh, you gotta damage it first. See, there's a problem with that. Damage requires that a Pokemon can be able to withstand damage, you see. So you might be hit it once, but then after that you might faint it. Can't catch a Pokemon if it's fainted. So What? I'm supposed to be able to miraculously make it catchable in one hit, given this complicated formula that's always going to lean on the side of not catching it. And then you might argue, well, that's what status elements are for, brah. Well, see, there's a problem with that too, because since the AI completely tosses out the window the mechanics that the players use, sleep is going to last for maybe a turn. Paralysis is not going to work half the time, even though it should be. So and freeze, fucking forget freeze. You are never going to see an ice type. There's maybe 2 ice types. Let's make some more goddamn water and flying and normal type, but not, redistribute the elemental diversity and make more ice and dragon and other types. Gyarados only knows Dragon Rage as one of its primary attacks. It's known for that. But make Gyarados a Dragon type? No, are you fucking crazy? Charizard a Dragon type? No, he starts off as a Fire type and has to stay that way because Game Freak. So understanding all that, besides the the type racism, where was I getting at? Basically, status ailments don't work either. Poison, burn, confusion, all risk fainting it, thus negating the reason why you were doing it in the first place. As you can already see, catching a Pokemon is extremely fucking difficult. And then on top of that, they keep breaking. Pokeballs cost money. And the only way to get money is to deal with asshole trainers blocking your path, sneaking into corners to come and fight you and kick you while you're down. Shit like that. You think your rival's a dick? All the trainers are dicks. They're just weaker dicks. More limpy, flaccid dicks that can't get it up. And, all this shit. And this is the premise of the game. That you tame monsters to fight with. But what monsters do you get to fight with? I might get a Pidgey if I'm lucky, but if it takes all this tedious effort just to catch the goddamn thing, and then turn around and level the goddamn thing up, and hope to God that that's enough, it's just a chore. It's not fun. Games are supposed to be fun. Now I know that's a subjective term. I know that, people consider fun to be different things. But god damn it, man. You mean to tell me after 10 years you couldn't figure this out? After 10 years you couldn't, incorporate some new mechanics. You couldn't round the edges a little bit. It still has to be hardcore mode, where Pokemon are incapable of being caught. And, you gotta level grind like crazy, and everything else. And then on top of that, some people take it a step further and do that Nuzlocke challenge, which, by the way, Nuzlocke only says that if a Pokemon faints, it dies. Everything else beyond that is just their own added flair. But canon, Nuzlocke only means faint equals death, which some people do anyway because, they figure, well, if Pokemon fainted, they suck. But, taking all of this into consideration, then there are dumbasses, probably the same people that go to anime conventions and don't shower for 3 days straight, that say, well, that's part of the challenge. You know what else is challenging? Getting addicted to heroin and then trying to get off of it. That's fucking challenging. Do you want a challenge? Go shoot up some heroin. Otherwise, don't fucking talk to me about challenge. I'm here to play a game. And part of playing a game is, not treating it like work. Part of playing a game is having fun and entertainment and being able to look at it from different perspectives. Every time I play the game, it's a little bit different. Makes me appreciate it just a little bit more. Some games have done that for me, but this is not one of them. And many video games don't. That's why it cannot be considered an art form, besides the fact that it's run by greedy corporations that suck out your soul. But no, this is not an art form, because an art form implies that there is some kind of effort behind it. I mean, besides the effort of tippy-typing to program it. I mean actual effort of putting your creativity, your passion, and, you know, your skill behind it, where it actually means something to other people. It is not simply blind entertainment. Pornography is not art either, but even pornography has a little more forethought than fucking video games. So, you know, that is basically what I said on the official Facebook Pokemon wall. And I want every little 11-year-old to see that. I want every little 11-year-old to see that their game is bullshit, and they need to expose themselves to much more promising, you know, video games. I don't know another word for video games. But yeah, that's my, basically, me throwing in the towel to Pokemon Emery, no wait, it was not Emery, Priti Emerald. Because, you know, it's just ridiculous at this point. It's ridiculous how Pokemon's been around for so long, and it hasn't learned a goddamn thing. But how can it? How can Game Freak learn anything if fans will just go behind them and say, oh, you're so brilliant, oh, everything you do is just so perfect, when it fucking isn't. It hasn't been since the very beginning, you know? I mean, sometimes they change the attacks around and shit, but it's just as cheap and broken as ever before. Maybe in a different way, but it's still there. You know, only having 2 or 3 ghost types is still there. The complete disregard for the actual mechanics and the AI doing whatever the fuck it wants to is still there. And me, I'm just butthurt at the previous moment about catching the goddamn Pokemon, which, you know, there's a game called Dragon Warrior, and in that one, it isn't about you catching them. It's about you earning the respect of the monster, and they decide to join your team. And that's actually easier to get monsters on your team. You battle them, 99% of the time, they're like, hey, you're pretty cool. Can I join your team? And you can say yes or no. How is it a game that's supposed to be about the AI admiring you somehow leads to more teammates than a game where you actively capture them and force them to be your friend? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And, you know, but will gamers see that? No. But they're such hardcore gamers, man. They eat their, you know, Doritos that have the Halo guy on it, and, you know, drink their Mountain Dew and get the Call of Duty codes, and they play Diablo on Hell mode, and bullshit like that. But they can't tell Game Freak that their game is full of shit and has been since the beginning, and that they're just gonna purposely pirate it and never put a dime in their pocket until they learn their goddamn lesson. Really. It's that hard for you to just say that on Facebook, or email it to them, or anything. I do it. Why can't you? So, you know, that's why I don't call myself a gamer, even though I kinda am. I play video games, but I do not like to call myself a gamer because I don't think what they do is all that great. As an artist myself, as someone that's wanted to do that as an art form, it offends me greatly, the shit that passes as gaming. It offends me greatly that these people make billions of dollars to make this complete and utter abortion of an industry. It offends me greatly that, you know, I probably will never get to develop video games. But yet, there will be Pokemon probably until I am dead and beyond. So, yes, that's what it looks like when Jim Profit gets butthurt. I'm not butthurt about the game in and of itself. I couldn't care less. It's about everything. It's about everything of how the industry is, how the gamer fan base is, the mechanics of this terrible, terrible game, and how, you know, I'll never be able to do the things I would like to do because I'm part of a sick capitalist society. So, I guess mission accomplished. I showed you my butthurt without even having to do a live feed because Jim Profit is just that fucking skilled. I guess I'll see you later.